I live in a world where people value things that are very different than what I value. I value the little things, I think. I value digging in the dirt and pulling weeds. Very meditative. I like to, I'm older now, so I can't do the things I like to do, like playing soccer and moving in whatever way, dancing, and using your body to run and jump and do things. And I love to see the things that people make with their hands, whether sewing, knitting, carving, whatever. I value those little things. But people seem very, very jaded to me, very jaded, that there is so much um, things around them that have been created and now are manufactured in bulk, that those are the things that matter to them. And they don't matter, it doesn't seem to matter what somebody spent all day doing, but I value what somebody spent all day doing in a creative way to create something. And so I don't know. Those are the things that matter to me. And other people may look at them and say, well, that's not as good as the one I could buy at Walmart. But I don't see it that way. Paige and Amy are not yet where you are. However, they each have an inquisitive mind, and they each have the ability to find something kind of like that in their own worlds, you see, that they can perceive that there is something that is so important to humanity, that humanity has lost its capacity to appreciate the simple things in life. Humanity has lost its ability to look around and see how important it is to be happy with the little things in life. The little things in life are make you happy. And the things in life that compete with each other for your attention are the degradation of the world, you see, because they try to get your attention on their capacity to get your money. That's it. In other words, when you were a child and you would play outside, you were happy to be with your friends, you see, and to create a little aquarium in a wagon where you would put a bucket with some water and some sticklebacks. Do you remember that? Yes, I do. And a tree frog or two. And that was amazing to you. And then there came a time when everything was valued. according to the cost, you see. Is it more thrilling to ride on a roller coaster than to climb that towering tree in a windstorm and let it whip you back and forth? Is it more exciting to know that somebody will be sued if they don't make sure you are safe on that carnival ride than it is to take your chances on a rope tied to a tree and swing out from the hillside over a swamp, you see? What can you do to escape from the cages they put you in? Because those are the cages when you stand there in line waiting to give them your money so that you can ride on the Ferris wheel, when you could climb a hill and slide down on a gunny sack and get quite a thrill. And perhaps you would get a bit scratched up, but that's the price you pay when you play in the world around you and not in the world that is so carefully prepared for you so you don't have to tie your own shoe. Somebody will do it for you, so to speak. And this is what has become of America because the people cannot know what is true anymore. They cannot know what is true because they don't have the experience, you see, because they live in a world of make believe. They live in a world where everything is done for them. All they have to do is walk into Walmart and pick up a shirt or some cabbage wrapped in cellophane. And that is all there is to tell them what is true. So no wonder all these people have become conspiracy theorists because they do not know what is true. They cannot know what is true because they have no basis in their experience to know reality. They only know make believe. They don't know what it's like to grow that cabbage from a seed and pick off the worms to make sure that they have something to put on the supper table. They don't know what it's like to expend the energy to climb that hill rather than stand on a platform that carries you there. They don't know what it's like to get a thrill when you create something with your own hands and you say, "Look what I made. Look what I made. Look, everybody, look what I made." And everybody says, "Wow, that's fantastic, dear. You spent all day working on that. And look what you created." Now they just turn away and say, "Hey, I don't care how much time you spent making that because I can go to Walmart and buy something better with which to play for a few minutes or two. And then I'll put it away and not think about it anymore because when I'm bored, I'll just go buy something else, you see." And I'll spend all day when I'm grown up chained to a desk or a job in a noisy restaurant just so I can get enough money to buy something that is nothing of value to me. It's nothing of value to me because I didn't make it, you see, and therefore its only value is what I can sell it for. If I could buy something that I could sell for more than I paid for it, then it has a value to me, you see. And this is not the world for me. This is not what I want to see. I have to close my eyes and say, God, let me find a way. Let me find a way to live and play again in the simplicity of the world I know, where people grow wise because they open their eyes and see before them the world that you created for them, where they could be creative, you see, where they could share a reality that did not depend on the almighty dollar, where they could get up in the morning and tend the crops and the animals and say, well, here's an egg today, here's an egg today, and here's another. Look at that. Now we have breakfast here in our hands. We have eggs in our hands. And here's the tin with all the flour. So I can make the biscuits today, you see, because we cut the wheat and we cleaned it and we ground it into flour, you see. And now we have a reality. Now we can see that things don't come from the grocery store. They come from the ground and they come from the animals that eat the vegetation. This is reality, you see. This is the reality of a world that works in harmony. However, the little children who never know how a cabbage did grow or a carrot will never understand the truth, you see. They will never understand their connection to the world they see because all they will see is the shiny attractions that cause them to forget for a moment how sad they are, how very, very sad they are. And this is the gift, you see, that I gave to them. I gave them the gift of distraction so they would not be so sad when they looked around and said, I am nothing. I am nothing here because I don't even know how I'm connected to this world. I don't even know why I have all these toys, you see, and they mean nothing to me. I am a man that had a life on earth, you see, and I've come to see that I grew only when I changed my point of view in order to come back to you in a different way because I had to stay away a long time in order to come to see that love is the only reality. And love, you see, is the ability to flow like water through reality. It is the ability to be the droplet that falls on the leaf, and take the ride to the other side, where you become unseen. You see, you're just like the air, because you have no hair, until the day that you coalesce again into a raindrop, or perhaps a snowflake, and you fall again to the world that you know below. And you say, here I am on a leaf today, because I know that I must go through the cycle again and again and again. I must go through the cycle again and again and again. And as I go, I come to see that it is the ride that matters to me. It is the ride that matters to me, and not the shiny toys that they give to me. I'd rather have a stick and a ball, you see, and push it around, than have to be left in my room with a gadget that will show me a false reality. Because you see, I grew. I grew through my experiences as I went around through the cycle, you see. And I've come to see for the life of me that I belong to reality. I am a part of reality. I'm not a ghost, you see. I'm not toast. I am the most beautiful thing you ever did see, because I'm a part of God energy, and you are too. And I had to be the one who would go round and round through the cycle, you see. Sometimes I was a man on earth, and sometimes I was a man in heaven, but I never, ever still, you see. I had to be on the ride to the other side. It didn't matter which side I was on. There's always another side, you see. And that is the duality of life. That you will be a man on earth, and you will be someone who will see. Life will continue to be, even though you do not have a physical form. And the norm on earth, you see, is to reject the reality that life goes on through the cycle over and over and over again. However, it need not be so painful, you see, because the only pain is the gain when you let it go and you show something to others, you see. You show them that the trajectory is not the thing you need to fear. You don't need to fear the fact that you will be here in heaven, you see. You don't need to fear that you'll have to go back to earth again and do it all over again. Because you see, when you let go of your fear, you become the one who is dear to everyone you do see. Because you only see reality, and therefore you will never see a tree that will say to you, hey, you're not real, you see, because the tree is real And if you can see the tree, then you must be a man on earth again. And so may you see the tree for what it is, and may you see me for what I am. For I am the one who will come to see reality is flexible, you see. It's flexible because there will always be a little bit of ice in my veins, and there will always be a little bit of fire, and there will always be a little bit of air to breathe, and there will always be a little bit of dirt to ground me in reality. I am no longer afraid, Stephanie. I am no longer afraid to be the one who can light fantastic, because the light came to me the day that I did see that you were right when you told me that all I had to do was to face my fear. And I faced my fear that I would disappear. I faced my fear that I would never ever find my dear if I went away from the trust on being the God of the universe. I am not the God of the universe. I am a man who has a hand that I will slip into a glove, and I will be with my love. Because God said to me, if you will be my friend, you see, then I will be yours, and we will come to see that life is always going to be a trust on, a reality that will never be the same, because reality is never the same, you see. And so you play the game over and over and over again. You play the game, you come and go, and you never know that it will always be a little different, you see, because the world I see today is not the world I see tomorrow, and the world I see tomorrow does not exist, you see, because it's only a fantasy world. But the world I see today is so simple because it says to me, touch me, feel me, smell me, see me, and hear me in the way I say to you, I love to be free of anxiety and just accept reality. Because reality is not difficult, you see. It can exist in a tree, and it can exist in a shiny toy, but it can never, ever exist in the darkness, you see. Because the darkness of the human heart is the inability to be present, you see. And if you are not present in the moment, then you will never be real, you see. You'll never be real, and you will just steal a little light from others in order to play in a way that will distract you from your own reality, that you exist, that you will always exist, that you will always be. So what's the hurry? What's the hurry to be famous? What's the hurry to be rich? What's the hurry to be the God of the universe? Because the God of the universe already does exist. And the God of the universe will always be there to allow you to see that all you have to do is be so simple that you will say, here I am today, here I am today, here I am, here I am, here I am. I have to smile at that, Steve, because it is reality, but it is also the fantasy, because the story is always the fantasy, but there's always a story and there's always a reality. And so that's the duality. And they're held together in the Trinity because there's a right hand and a left hand. There's a hand that lives in reality, and there's a hand that's constantly distracting you, you see. And so all I know is that you just have to stop and say, hey, this is where I am today. And you have to be willing to throw yourself on the wind and just let it all go. You just let it all go. And you say, I'm not attached to anything today. I'm not attached to being famous or rich or acquiring anything. I'm just going to throw myself on the wind and see where it sets me down again. And that's the trust on God to me, is God is the wind, and you throw yourself on the wind and see where it sets you down. So that's the way I see it. And the very fact of talking about it is kind of a fantasy. But that's okay, because fantasy and reality, in the way that I see it, Steve, fantasy and reality are the two hands that are constantly shaking each other and saying, hey, nice to meet you. Lord above and Lord below, because we know that the Lord of all is the cord that holds us true to each other so that we can do what we want to do. And what I want to do, is to be with you and laugh and say, look at that bird fly on the breeze today, because it will land where it will land. Just throws itself on the wind, you see, and it lands where it lands because it is trusting on God energy to keep it safe. That's the way I want to play. I want to say, I just throw myself on the wind today, and it will put me down where it puts me down. And I will not worry about it, because I'll always know that there is something that has captured me. And it's not the gold, and it's not the fame. Fame and fortune was my name because I trusted upon it, you see. I trusted that I had to be rich in order to be the one who could be thrown on the wind. But I forgot that that's why I did it, you said. See, I just wanted to be thrown on the wind and fly away. But I forgot how to do that until you came my way. And then I said, hey, why does she get to fly so free and everybody else is stuck in the mud? And then I came to see that You gave it all away. You gave it all away. You gave it up. You gave up all the gold and all the gold objects that meant nothing to you. And you even gave up the people too, because you just wanted to be free, to be the wind. You wanted to be the wind. And the wind can never be captured, you see, because the wind will come and go, but it will slip through your fingers. And that was frightened me, I guess, that you kept slipping through my fingers till I could see that the wind will always pick me up and set me down where I will be a man on earth, you see. I will be a man on earth because I see that the wind is also me. I am the wind, and I will go where I go and be where I am. And I don't have to worry that anyone will ever capture me again with their ideas, because the wind cannot be captured by an idea, you see. The wind cannot trust on gold, and the wind cannot trust on being in a hold, because it would die, you see. The wind will die when it is captured, and then it comes alive when it laughs and says, "You thought you could capture me, didn't you? But it is impossible. You can't capture the wind. You can't capture me, because I am a child of God, you see, and God is the air we breathe, and the wind beneath our wings, and I am the wind too, because I am like unto the Father, and the Father is like unto me, and we can be friends, you see, and when we wish to be in a physical reality, we simply put our feet on the ground and say, I'm here today. I'm here today. This is where I am. And we look around and we say, I am real. I am real because I feel something inside of me that will always be a trust on God, you see. God will always hold me. No matter where I go, no matter where I fall, I will always be safe, you see, because the wind cannot be captured and it cannot be controlled, you see. It will go where it will go. And if you try to create a wind in order to take away the glory of the breeze today, you will find that the wind that does blow cannot make your heart glow the way it can when it brings to you a new point of view. When it says, climb that tree and I will be the one that rocks it, you see, and you will feel the thrill of being in my arms. And the wind will say, I think I'll sit still today and let you be free of my touch. But when I come back to you, I will do to you what you do to me. I will give to you a trust. on a new reality where we will be free to come and go and to live in perfect harmony. Thank you, Steve.